What's up, you guys? Sean Ross Sapp, managing editor, FightfulWrestling.com, here with some great news. This article written by Jeremy Lambert of Fightful Wrestling. Harlem Heat is coming to the WWE Hall of Fame. WWE has confirmed that Booker T and Stevie Ray, known as Harlem Heat, will be inducted into the 2019 Hall of Fame class. News first reported by USA Today. Harlem Heat made their WCW debut in August '93 under the names Kane and Cole, and were aligned with Sherry Martel in 1994, where they saw their names change to Stevie Ray and Booker T. During their time in WCW, Harlem Heat won the tag team titles 10 different times and are recognized as the most successful tag team in WWE or WCW history by many. Stevie Ray commented and said, "I was speechless for a couple of seconds. The last thing I was thinking about was the Hall of Fame. I'm going to be honest with you. I hadn't really thought about it. I get the fans hitting me all the time with different things about Harlem Heat needs to be in the Hall of Fame, so on and so forth. But you never know, so I never gave it much thought," end quote. If you all don't check out Stevie Ray's podcast that he does on Title Match Wrestling sometimes, it is fantastic. It motivated me to reach out to him for an interview. He was one of our first guests on Making a Finisher, where he talked about his slapjack, and he talked about a lot of the tag team finishing moves that himself and Booker T would do. And that was ahead of last year's WrestleMania when I actually interviewed him. So to see him go in this year is really awesome. He is a fun person to talk to, and hopefully we get to again. Booker T followed up his brother's comments by saying, quote, "It was surprising, actually, because I guess for one reason, my brother and I, we never wrestled in WWE. My brother took a step aside at that point in time because he had a daughter and he wanted to see her grow up and see her go to college. He got a chance to do that, but our career in WCW was awesome. My brother and I were together for 8.5 years in WCW and together for another 2 years prior in the Global Wrestling Federation. So we had a career as a tag team, and to be recognized as one of the great tag teams. There were a lot back in the day. The Steiners, Nasty Boys, Road Warriors, Sting and Lex Luger, Public Enemy. So many guys we got the chance to grapple with back then, and to be recognized, it's pretty awesome," end quote. I can't tell you how cool I think this is. They last competed together almost 19 years ago. They joined Tori Wilson, DX, and Honky Tonk Man as members of this Hall of Fame. These two guys were so far ahead of their curve. Like they looked like $1 million. They were huge. The gear was different than everything else in WCW. Booker didn't wrestle like anybody else in WCW. Booker also became a huge star. Stevie Ray became a star in his own right with the NWO and did things where he led the Black and White for a little while, but also would become an announcer. But Booker T would go on to wrestle for another decade plus and have an amazing Hall of Fame career in a singles aspect as well. But for Harlem Heat to go in, I think this is a perfect induction, a perfect selection by WWE. This was, I don't even want to say the glue, because they weren't the glue. I don't know if there was a glue in WCW in the tag team division. They were just a top team. And when you throw them in there with the likes of the Steiner brothers and an established team from WWF like the Nasty Boys, and then Sting and Luger would pop up, man, they were completely different than everybody else. Nobody could replicate those characters. You had the Road Warriors, who had developed out of NWA and AWA and WWF, and I really saw when I was a kid as WCW one of their better homegrown tag teams, so to speak. They didn't come from GWF, but without prior WWF exposure, Harlem Heat was it, man. They were just perfect. And I still to this day want to know how they kept those Breathe Right strips on while they wrestled. It's not that easy. It's a talent. Leave us a thumbs up. Fightful. Subscribe.